What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Primetime Sports Podcast, hosted by Joey Malari. Merry Christmas Eve to everybody out there that celebrates Christmas. Happy holidays to everyone listening. Thank you guys so much for all your support in the year of 2023. No matter if you listen to one episode, 10 episodes, 100, or all 285 just about that I've had now, thank you guys for all the support along the way. It's much appreciated. In this episode today, I'm going to give a preview of some of the Week 16 games in the NFL. There's a few games I wanted to talk about, the majority of them being in the 4 o'clock window for today's games. We'll start with the Jaguars at the Bucks. The Jaguars are 0-3 in the last three. The Bucks are 3-0. So one team is hot. The other obviously is cold heading into this one. Trevor Lawrence is tough as nails. I obviously know that he's been struggling to stay healthy. He had the ankle injury a couple weeks ago, had a concussion last week. He did clear the concussion protocol and will be playing in today's game. Obviously still not 100%. As for the Bucks, they've been balling this season. They've really surprised me. I didn't really have much expectation for them to do anything this season, and they've been great over the last 3 games. They're now 7-7. They have a playoff spot where they currently stand, leading the NFC South, which is obviously the worst division in the NFL this season. But if you look at where the Bucks were last season with Tom Brady, I don't think anybody expected Baker Mayfield to give them a better record this year than they had last year with Tom Brady. But, I mean, you never know what's going to happen year to year. It's a different team this year. Just like it's a different division this year than it was last year, even though last year's division was weak as well. As for the Jacksonville Jaguars, their defense has been battling some injuries, especially in the secondary. The defense started the year hot and have come back down to earth, I'd say, over the last 3 or 4 games. But the talent is obviously there for them to figure things out. I like Jacksonville a lot. I think they win this game. I think it'll be a close one. I think Jacksonville wins this game 27-23. Behind 2 total touchdowns of Trevor Lawrence, with one of those touchdowns going to Calvin Ridley. Next up, we have the Cardinals at the Bears. Chicago is 3-3 on the season at Soldier Field. Been playing a lot better football as of late. They've won 3 of the last 5 games, 2 close losses over that 5-game stretch. Both of them being to good teams. They held multiple score fourth quarter leads in those games. That game against Detroit they lost about a month ago, and then a couple weeks ago versus Cleveland. They fell apart in both those games late, despite being up by 2 possessions in the fourth quarter. But they have been playing better football. I expect them to get a win today. The Cardinals are 2-3 since Kyler Murray's return from his ACL injury. No Marquise Brown today, which is a loss for him. I'd expect Kyler to go to Michael Wilson a little bit more today. He's a guy that I'm very high on. I think he's going to have a big day today for them at the top of their wide receiver group. I think the Bears are going to win a close one here, though. I think the Bears win, let's say, by a field goal late in the game by Cairo Santos, and my touchdown score of the game is a Justin Fields rushing touchdown. Next up, we have the Cowboys at the Dolphins. The Dolphins have struggled against teams that are 500 or better over the last couple seasons. They've lost 6 straight games against teams with winning records, but they're 16-6 against teams 500 or worse. So they're beating up on the teams below them, but they haven't really beaten anybody better than them with a 500 record or better since last season. But I think they're going to figure things out today. The Cowboys are good this season. They're 10-4. They're coming off a tough 31-10 loss last week, though, at Buffalo. I like the Dolphins. I like Mike McDaniel a lot. I've been with them all season. I think they make a statement win here at home on Christmas Eve. They need the defense to step up in this game. They need to make a couple big plays on the defensive end. I think if they want to win this game, they need to force around 2 to 3 turnovers to win this one. And they obviously need a big game from Tua Tagovailoa, a guy I'm very high on as well. I think Miami finds a way to win this one 23-20 with a touchdown score from Jalen Waddle for the Dolphins and then Brandon Cooks for the Cowboys. So the last game I'm going to mention is the Patriots at Broncos at 8:15. The Patriots on the road tonight on Christmas Eve. Bailey Zappi will get another start for the Patriots. He started games hot in the first half in both of his starts this season, but he's really struggled in the second half of each of his 2 starts. Overall this season, 4 passing touchdowns and 2 interceptions in both of his starts. We'll see what he can do in tonight's game. Like I said, he starts games hot, and then obviously in the second half, that's when he struggles. He was 31 of 40 in the first half of both of his starts this season, with 337 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and no picks, with a 135.1 passer rating. But in the second half of both those starts, he's 8 for 21 in those games combined, with 83 passing yards, no touchdown passes with 2 interceptions, and a 10.7 passer rating. So a 135.1 passer rating in the first half of both of his starts, and then a 10.7 passer rating in the second half. 4 touchdowns to no interceptions in the first half, 0 passing touchdowns to 2 interceptions in the second half. That's obviously one thing that has to change. He has to be better in the second half in these games. Denver has been sneaky good this season. They've really heated up over the last 7 or 8 games. They're 7-7 on the season after a cold start. They've lost 2 of the last 3 games heading into this one, though. I think they find a way to win this game, though. Russell Wilson's had a bounce-back season. Didn't really expect much from him this season. He surprised me. He had a good bounce-back year. As for the Patriots, they're coming off a 27-17 loss last week to the Kansas City Chiefs at home. And they're also battling a lot of injuries heading into this game. Jabril Peppers is out. Ramondre Stevenson's out. Juju Smith-Schuster's out. Hunter Henry's out. So 3 top weapons on offense, and probably their best defensive player as well, in Jabril Peppers, is out for today's game. Christian Barmore looks like he's going to be out as well, and then they have a lot of questionable guys that are starters for them in the injury report for today's game. Jonathan Jones is questionable. Trent Brown's questionable. Jawan Bentley's questionable. He's a guy I'm very high on. I like the way he plays the game. Every single week when I see them play, he's making plays for them and he's hustling. And obviously, you guys know I love guys that hustle, so I am a fan of Jawan Bentley. Matthew Slade is also questionable, and Jelani Tavai is also questionable for today's game. So a lot of injuries for the Patriots. I thought the Patriots would hang around in this game until the fourth quarter, and then I thought the Broncos would pull away at the end with the 24-17 win in the fourth quarter. But with all of these injuries, it's really tough to think the Patriots will be in this game. I think it's going to be a tough Christmas Eve game here for the Patriots on the road. I think the Broncos win this one 21-10, and my touchdown score of the game is Jerry Jeudy. Anyways, that'll wrap up this episode. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this. As always, I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good one. Merry Christmas Eve to everyone out there. Hopefully everybody gets to enjoy it. And as always, it's much appreciated you guys taking the time to listen to this. Take it easy, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Merry Christmas Eve.